and welcome to Safety Shorts. Whether you're listening in for a toolbox talk or just tuning in to see what's new and reflect on safety, we hope our episodes are the perfect bite-sized portion to fit in your day. From this series, you can expect to hear about safety tips and best practices, learn about new ideas, and most of all, listen to safety stories from our industry guests and hear about their lessons learned. Hi, I'm Emily Hargrove, Director of Occupational Health and Safety at NSSGA. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Safety Shorts. Summer is in full swing, the season of sunshine, late sunsets, and finding any excuse to be near the water. Whether beach vacations, a week at the lake, heading down to the pond, or lots of pool time, now is the perfect time to talk about water safety. With me today to share her water safety story is my colleague, NSSGA Senior Manager of Communications, Madalynn Habron. Welcome, Madalynn.
When I was in high school, being a lifeguard was my first job. Where I worked, there was a lap pool that sloped from about 4 feet deep to 10 feet deep, a 3-foot deep shallow pool, and a concrete pathway a few feet wide that separated the two pools. After some time as a lifeguard, I started as a swim instructor. One day, at the conclusion of one of my classes, I was standing in the shallow end of the lap pool talking to a student's parent. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a toddler make their way across the concrete pathway that separated the two pools. I didn't see the toddler's parent, so I took note. I resumed my conversation, but not 10 seconds later, I heard a splash and the toddler was gone. In one motion, I pushed myself up out of the lap pool, slid across the concrete pathway, and scooped the toddler up and out of the shallow pool. Thankfully, she had turned herself right side up and hadn't been underwater for longer than a second or two. Her parents came running, having noticed this commotion. I assessed her, found her to be scared but not in need of care, and sent them on their way. After filling out my paperwork, I came back to the pool deck and saw the family deep in conversation, pointing to the pool and talking about how slippery the edge can be. Later in my shift, I saw them in the shallow pool together, and the toddler looked like she was having fun. And I'm so glad that that's how their day ended. Unfortunately, that isn't always the case. According to the CDC, more children ages 1 through 4 die from drowning than any other cause of death. And every year in the United States, there are over 4,000 unintentional drowning deaths. There are steps that everyone can take to be safe around water. At home, make sure water features are fenced. Supervise children in the tub or playing near a pond or fountain. Even a foot of water can be dangerous. When you're at the pool or a lake, follow lifeguard and posted instructions. And even in the presence of lifeguards, parents should still supervise their children closely. Less confident swimmers of any age can wear a U.S. Coast Guard approved personal flotation device. And as for what drowning looks like, contrary to how it's often depicted, drowning is quick and usually quiet. Someone who is drowning is typically vertical, hyperventilating or gasping, with their head low in the water or tilted back. Recognizing this and acting or alerting lifeguards can help to save lives. Spending time in the water has always been a huge part of my life, and that's thanks to early swim lessons and regular exposure to water safety. To parents, I encourage you to start your children in lessons early in their life. And to any adults who don't know how to swim, I would encourage you to seek out lessons. It's never too late to learn.
You're definitely right. It's never too late to learn. I recently just had a couple of friends take adult swimming lessons here at the local YMCA. What are your thoughts about water safety at work for our industry?
I have 2 answers for that. First, there's water at aggregate facilities. To prevent serious injuries and fatalities while working around water, proper policies and procedures must be in place and adhered to, including the availability, use, and maintenance of correct PPE. Critical controls include, but are not limited to handrails, U.S. Coast Guard approved personal flotation devices, and throwable life rings. To learn more about this, visit the Take Control, Prevent Serious Injuries and Fatalities page on nssga.org. My second answer is, there are some general safety lessons I took from my experiences as a lifeguard. First, how important it is to be aware and prepared. Situations can change in an instant, regardless of how much preparation you have put into making sure that the site is safe. Second, train regularly. When we had a quiet day at the pool, we would run drills or talk through scenarios. It got to the point where reacting became second nature because I could fall back on my training. And third, training follows you home. Since being a lifeguard and a swim instructor, I became my niece's first swim teacher. I'm able to be safe around the water and teach my loved ones about water safety. The same goes for training about hearing protection, 3 points of contact, lockout, tagout, and other practices that are needed on site. The things you do to keep safe at work can also keep you and your loved ones safe at home.
Thank you so much for being here today, Madalynn, and highlighting how we can keep ourselves and our loved ones safe while enjoying time in and around the water, whether having fun or at work. To our listeners, we appreciate you tuning in. Have a wonderful 4th of July weekend and stay safe.